The entire staff of the Breakfast Club is wrong, and they all get donkey of the day.
This woman every day. Every day. I don't have no reason to hate on that girl. I don't. No, I didn't like her when I came back because I'm like, all right, what's going on? What's going on? She knew it. We had a conversation because the anger was misplaced. Nah, it ain't even you that I don't like. I'm realizing this is the way these is doing here that I don't like. Okay, got it. Went to Taylor. Yo, Taylor, make Lauren her intro. Take Jess with the mess all day. She says, things can't just change like that. Why the f not? Why not? Y'all changing everything else, and I'm the only one that don't know. My goofy ass don't know nothing. I'm just coming to work every day, just zippity-doo-dah-day, and you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, take my name out that shit. Jess with the Mess is not at Breakfast Club. I'm Jess Hilarious up here. While her fans and her people and the Breakfast Club people and, the people in the comments, man, I'm not ready to sit up here and act like I don't see that shit. Y'all crazy. One thing I ain't never try to do is act unbothered unless shit never bothered me. Man, what? You try coming back to work. You try to come back to work, and the motherfucker is right there at your desk, and ain't nobody telling you, mind you, nobody telling you.
What up, word? Your boy Charles Brown back again, talking facts. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. Keep sending those Cashapps to CLBMG. Join the membership gang. I know some of you are like, Charles, this is mostly a hip hop channel. Why are you talking about the Breakfast Club? Well, to be honest, most of us have been watching the Breakfast Club for the last 13, 14 years, and we've done a lot of our opinions based on interviews at the Breakfast Club. A lot of our favorite artists have been on the Breakfast Club. A lot of viral moments came from the Breakfast Club, and I, from time to time, still watch the Breakfast Club. I believe that they are a big part of our culture, for better or for worse. Some huge interviews, Jay-Z, 50 Cent, Kendrick, a lot of our idols, for lack of a better word, have appeared on the Breakfast Club. They have been a staple in the culture, whether you believe it or not. So that is why I am speaking on the Breakfast Club issues. I have a vested interest in Charlemagne, DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Jess Hilarious, and Lauren LaRosa. All of them encompass what is the Breakfast Club. And what I'm seeing lately has been the icing on the cake of a party that has been long in the making. They have been talking about the demise of the Breakfast Club since almost the beginning. But this one right here, my friends, I saw this one coming a mile away, and I'm kind of disappointed. But once you realize what you're dealing with, you'll know that this was bound to happen. And I do want to speak on this situation because I feel like everyone involved gets a donkey of the day. I'm just going to be honest. Lauren LaRosa, Jess Hilarious, Charlemagne the God, and this may impede any future work I may have qualified for on the Black Effect Network. This might hurt my chances of being in that program, but I gotta just do what I do, gang. Let me just cook for a minute, because I watched this whole situation play out, and I saw Jess Hilarious. She celebrated that job. Remember when there was a whole hiring? It was a whole frenzy of who's gonna get this position, who's coming, who's gonna take Angela Yee's spot, because we saw how Angela Yee left. It was messy, gang. Let's just be honest. It was messy. My girl Yee, I used to love me some Yee, boy. Ooh wee, forget it. I used to love me some Yee. And Yee checked out of that joint the day that Charlemagne went and did that interview with Gucci Mane. And he was calling her this, that, and the third. And Charlemagne was like, this, tell me more. He didn't say nothing. He didn't stop him. He didn't even check him and say, hey. That's all that fake shit. He ain't stop him or nothing. He let him go crazy because allegedly Angela Yee and him. So it's real messy, right? You know the story with Gucci Mane and Angela Yee. He was on her podcast, and one thing led to another. He tried to say that she tried to come on to him and offer him out to come hang out. Let's put it like that. And he declined. So when he brought it up in the future on the show, she was like, nah, that never happened, gang. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't put that on me. Let's keep this professional. Come in here and treat me with respect. Don't talk to me like I'm one of these, you know what I'm saying? I'm not no wing wong. Like, gang, listen, this is what I do. So he was like, hold up, you're really trying to play me right now. He's like, I got the tape. I check the tape, right? I don't remember the name of her show. It was something, gang. I used to know these things. But he was on the show. And they rewinded the tape, and it did look like she kind of was trying to low-key talk about his junk, low-key. Let's just be honest. It was a little, but it's the show's premise is to get a little frisky, right? It was a show, something like Nighttime with Angela, something like that. It's a little frisky little show. So that's what they're supposed to do. They're there to get frisky. Now, when you play in spaces like that, you're going to say some things that's not going to always be the utmost professional thing you could possibly say, the upkeep of professionalism, right? So she got a little frisky, but that's the premise of the situation. He took it one way, she didn't mean it that way, and long story short, he got offended, right? You know how dudes get offended when they say you lying on your D. Oh, he lying on his D. Oh, that's almost unbearable in the hood for somebody, because at that point, you got to prove him wrong. So he calls her the B word and the C word and every other kind of word. Charlamagne is like, you know what? Oh my God, this is a chance. You know, Charlamagne always looking for some chance to get some. This is all content, gang. You know what it is with Charlamagne. He gonna get content on his mom. You know, it's content. So he goes sits down with Gucci Mane. Right now, they embroiled. It's a whole online controversy, and Gucci Mane has got nothing good to say about Angela Yee, who was Charlamagne's co-host for a good, 10, 12 years? I don't know how long it was, 11, 12 years. And Charlamagne went and did this interview. I don't even think he told the girl he was going to interview with this guy. He put the interview up, and this guy just talking about this girl mad crazy, and the whole community is like, Charlamagne, gang, you low key ain't say nothing to do. Like, you really let him really talk really wild crazy about this chick. Let's just be honest. And a lot of people's in the comments like, well, they just co-workers. He ain't got to defend her. She's her own person. She got to defend herself. She was wrong. She know it. And I don't think that was the issue. I think it was that low key, this is a black woman being talked about crazy by a black man. I think that was the bottom line of it. And I know Gucci Mane could do whatever he do, and Charlamagne wasn't gonna get punched in the nose. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you gotta low key be like, gang, let's just keep it professional. You ain't gotta challenge the dude to a fist fight, but just say, low, gang. Listen, I know you feel away, but let's just keep this professional. Let's leave the name calling out of it. You could have did that. He didn't even do that. So myself and a bunch of others was like, this is gonna be awkward when they go back to work. And it was. She tried to play it off like it wasn't, but she really was hurt because he didn't stick up for it. And I don't care if that's like, if you guys are like on the same football team, like at some point, if you're supposed to be teammates, you see when a quarterback get hit by the other player, how everybody rushes that other team. That's what a team is. Charlamagne didn't rush in. He sat back and watched. He's like, oh, snap, these motherfuckers, they fighting. Like, you know what I'm saying? So she didn't feel that. And that was, a lot of people were like, the end of the Breakfast Club. That's when all this Breakfast Club stuff really started saying the end of the Breakfast Club. It's the end of the Breakfast Club, right? They came on, they worked it out supposedly, but it didn't feel like they worked much out. I feel she just ate it. She ate it and bided her time because she was like, oh, this dude ain't really rocking with me like that. And I see what it is. Because there's no other way to take that. You know what I'm saying? If you go do, let's say that's her op. At that time, that was her op. And you go do an interview with my op, and you let him talk crazy about me all kind of ways, and then you put the interview out. You don't even ask me. You just throw it out, or you ask me in some roundabout way at the last minute or something crazy. It's like, it's coming out. So how do you feel? Like, nah, we really ain't good at that point. You know what I'm saying? So she saw what it was, and she was like, you know what? First chance I get, I'm up out of here. So Angela Yee got her own show, but I'm just going to be honest. I always said Yee is a piece of this puzzle, and I don't know how well she's going to do without this team. I'm just going to be honest. I don't know how well Envy would do without this team. I don't know how well Charlamagne would do. Charlamagne is setting himself up to be fine without him, right? He got all this other stuff, the Black Effect. He got this goofy ass shit with Andrew Schultz and whatever. But at the end of the day, Charlamagne going to be all right in his mind. But I feel like what it is they work well as a team. And when Angela Yee left, it left a big void in that team. Nobody's going to be able to replace her, but she left in a messy way because she did some random ass, I got an announcement, guys, on Monday morning. Whatever morning it was, I got an announcement randomly out of nowhere. She has an announcement. They're like, oh, Angela Yee got the, we're like, what's she going to say? She can't be leaving because where's she going to go? guys, I'm leaving like at the end of February, whatever she's leaving. I don't know when she's leaving, but now she's leaving. Everybody's like, yo, she's really leaving. Like, this joint is over. Everybody like it's over. Everybody's like, what they gonna do? Who they gonna replace her with? So now you got this whole nationwide search. And you clearly saw that, let's just be honest, Jess was the best person for that position. If you are a fan of the show, nobody really was as comedic as her. They had a lot of people come in. They had a lot of people that was close, but it really looked like the chemistry, which is why they chose her, was with Jess. Now, the problems with Jess is with this whole situation, which no one could have seen a year in advance. But Jess has a niche. Her abilities are niche. What she does is something only she can do. When I found Jess, she was on Instagram doing these goofy news updates where she would be like, and next up, Justin Bieber. And she would pretend to be Justin Bieber. And it was, like they say, like I say, for a time, it was good. That was for Instagram, right? There's nothing wrong with that. I laughed. I thought it was whatever. But she was always in the middle of something, even back on the Instagram days. She had this, that, and the third. She was with this guy, and they fighting, and da. Then she pissed off somebody over here. She was always in the middle. It's just with the mess. It's drama. She's coming in with drama, gang. So you already know what you're getting. So to bring Jess in, this is like, let me just say this respectfully. Jess is like bringing the hood into a corporate function. The two going to clash at some point. I'm just going to be honest. I have no problem with Jess, but this is just going to be, I'm just going to keep it a buck, gang. This is what I do. And Jess is way too hood. She's not prepared for a situation like this. You're going to say, Challz, what she do wrong? She got the job. She worked it for a year. Now, let's be honest, and this is why I'm giving every single one of them, everybody getting donkey of the day. Everybody. And I'm going to start the first donkey of the day with Jess, and I'm going to try to be fair as I can, but I'm not here to like embarrass her because Jess is right. They played her out of position, but all of them getting donkey of the day because let's start here. Jess with the mess, Jess Hilarious is not a news reporter, a news commentator, a newscaster in the slightest. They brought Jess on to be the third chair to be entertaining. That news stuff was supposed to be secondary, but somehow when she don't have nothing else like to offer to the show, then the news became all she was offering, right? So when you're offering news, you got to be very, very good at that, right? And if we're going to keep it a buck, nobody's here. I'm not here to embarrass nobody, but Jess wasn't always prepared, okay? Let's just be honest. Jess wasn't always prepared. All of us ain't the best readers. I ain't the best reader, right? But I'm going to read my stuff and I'm going to keep it moving. But I'm going to give you my thoughts after the fact. But I do work at making my stuff better. You have no idea how I prepare for these things, gang. I prepare longer than the actual video ever would be, right? If the video is 15 minutes, I prepared 2 hours. Right? Because I want to be better at this. And I feel like Jess was moving in increments to be better. But I don't know if Jess dedicated herself to that thing that she was supposed to be doing. If she's just there to just talk shit and chill out, then that's fine. You don't got to prepare for that. But if you're going to be the news, when people in radio, when the news comes on, the news stops. Now, they be bringing in different pundits and this and that. Like, they got this other girl that comes on through Skype or whatever, and she does the political things of that nature. Now, let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. There's no need to outsource news if you have a news anchor there. I'm just being honest. I'm just keeping it a buck with you. So that tells you that Jess is not a full-fledged news anchor. You don't need to have guests coming on for 5 minutes telling us the political news when you got Jess who could be doing that. Now, I understand you want to mix it up and have different points of views and this, that, and the third. I get all that. But you could see the difference when these people come on versus what Jess is doing. And there's no disrespect to Jess, but that's not her thing. She did a funny Instagram. Instagram is not radio 9 to 5 every morning, or 9 to 2, whatever they're doing, or 6 to whatever, they getting there at 6 or 7 o'clock. So it's different. When you're the on-air news person, you gotta be sharp. You gotta be on point. You can't be late. You can't be not knowing what's going on with the story you're about to read. None of that. And just to be honest, and I'm from DMV area, and your diction has to be, you got to have your diction together if that's what you're going to be. But they didn't have her there for that. They had her there for entertainment, but the entertainment was limited, so she had to come with the Jess with the Mess and then stay on for more news, rumor report, and all that, like Angela Yee used to do. Now, the problem is this. For a time, that was good, but the comments were always, Jess brought negative comments there from the people who didn't like her from before, right? I had no problem with Jess, but there are people who don't like Jess before she even got on the Breakfast Club. There were people that wanted her there, and they were like, oh, she does a good job, but there are a lot of people who didn't want her there. And the problem with this is Jess is very, very plugged in with what people are saying, right? And Jess is very tuned in to the negativity of it, because at one point, Jess's whole job was to tune into negativity and make it funny. Let's just be honest. Jess' whole with the Mess was, I'm going to take something funny. I mean, something that the hood is laughing at, because it was all hood news. Jess is out of her league trying to do news for national, you know what I'm saying, for a nationwide audience, because she's going to do Black Twitter news and make it funny, because the only people was watching her was Black Twitter. Let's just be honest. So she's out of her depth trying to do it for a big market. Now we got mad markets. Your news can't be just on some Black Twitter. You got to do more. And you got to do it in a concise way that you're talking to middle America. I'm sure they sat her down like, this is not just with the Mess from the Instagram. You're going to have to be able to talk and reach a bigger audience, and they're going to have to be able to connect with you. So it's not going to be where you're going to be putting on a routine. Like, you're not going to be doing some comedy skit. This is news. And she kind of got roped into doing that. She wasn't doing that before she got there. And she's mad hood. She's mad right off the rip. Her whole thing outside of there is doing comedies, and guess where the comedy's at? In front of Black crowds. So she just got to be, for lack of a better word, low-key niggerish half the time that she's on stage. Let's just be honest. So then you're trying to transition into a corporate environment and do a corporate-based news. You're not prepared for that. So she's learning the job, and the worst thing, and I know she says she doesn't regret getting pregnant, and she shouldn't. But the worst thing is you're not even a year on the job and you get pregnant. And she said she got pregnant on purpose. So she had a planned pregnancy, which is going to force you to take time off of work. At some point, she worked all the way up until she couldn't, like most moms. And at some point, you're going to have to leave that space. Now, what they did was gave her the option to choose who she wanted to come in to replace her. Now, my whole thing is, and I'm going to give her donkey today because she's green to this. She was just excited. Remember that video where they got the slow motion, and Jess is Max. She got this Charlemagne and Envy coming from around the chair, and now they're looking at her like, yeah, you sis, you got it. Well, from that point on, she had to change her whole mentality about what she was going to be doing on the show. But that's hard to do when now you're going to be a new mom and you're leaving. So you're going to have to replace me with somebody that's doing kind of what I'm doing. But the problem is she went and was able to pick the person. And I think she picked the person who set the bar way too high. I say all that to say this. Lauren LaRosa is way too good at that job. Lauren LaRosa is, I'm going to say, collegiately, like she's like trained as a journalist, gang. Like, this chick came from TMZ. She's a producer. That means she does this all day. Get stories cohesive. Make a whole. She'll make the whole show timeline of what they're going to talk about and run it a certain way. You got to be really on point with this. You're not just coming in with a stack of papers trying to read through it and then tell some jokes. This chick is like, yo, I got sources. Like, she's like very, very well spoken. Like, she's prompt. She's cohesive. Like her whole thing is nothing but pure, unimpeachable professionalism, which is a complete polar opposite of Jess. They reached way too high. And when I was watching, I was like, from day one, right? I was like, who are they going to get to sit in with for this girl? Because this going to get messy when she leaves and the person is better than her. Or when she leaves and the person is not better than her. What the simple fact of the matter is, this person got to be just good enough so people want this girl back. I tuned in to see Lauren, and I went in like arms crossed, like I don't think let me find something to hate. I couldn't. They can't. I wasn't trying to find nothing to hate. Let me rephrase that. I wasn't trying to find nothing to hate, but I was trying to see where Jess was good at what she does, right? Lauren was just really good, gang. Because if you're going to say you're doing the news, not just with the mess, they out of respect, they kept that title on there, but we all know that was supposed to be the news. People don't tune into the radio for the mess. They tune in for the news, gang. I'm just going to be honest. So this girl, LaRosa, is excellent. She's superb. And I know you're trying to rack your brain like, Challz, you said everybody get donkey today. I'm going to explain why Lauren gets donkey today too. But Lauren is the epitome of what you want. Hair on point, her face, everything is on point. She's sitting up straight in her chair. She ain't eating on the mic half the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? She ain't got the green juice. Well, I don't know. But I know Angela Yee always had the green juice every day. This chick is prepared and ready to go. She's working, gang. Right? She literally redefined that job. And you let her do that way too long, because in the comments, which has, just be honest, this is what Jess so mad about, these comments. These people's vicious in these comments, gang. And all of us could see it. They were like, Lauren needs to stay. Pick any random video from the day Lauren started to last week. It's like Lauren needs to stay. Just gonna be honest. You got some of the videos like, I like Jess, but Lauren needs to stay. It was all over the place. And Jess is at home seeing this. If I'm Jess, I'm intimidated like a mother. I'm like, this chick is incredible. I'm just going to be honest. Like, you rarely see people this good at what they do. Lauren LaRosa, I don't know if you agree with me or not. I don't care. This chick is amazing at what she does. And she sits there and keys with Charlamagne. She can handle the jokes, which is another issue I want to talk about. They got it's almost too much jokes. It's almost too much jokes where you can't get real, because even when they try to get real, it's more jokes. So therefore, we're having issues with clarity, and that's why Jess is up there crying, because you can never get real, because when it starts to get real, they start wanting to tell jokes. But that's a whole nother subject. I'm going to get to that in the future. Let me just continue with the Lauren LaRosa thing. So here we are. I'm giving Jess the donkey today for not having that stuff clarified before she left. The real reason Jess is upset is, for one, yes, she is reading them comments and they stinging. Because these people are brutal. I told you before she even got there, she had enemies. People hated her before she even got the job. Remember when they thought she was fired? They started doing videos celebrating. I told you Jess was going to lose that job. That's why they did the slow motion video. That's why they got the slow motion video with Charlamagne and Envy and Jess Hilarious. I bet you asked that Jess Hilarious how she feel compared to this Jess Hilarious when she made that video a year ago. They two different feelings. But at the time when she made that video and she was all excited to be joining the Breakfast Club, she didn't have her eggs together, because her contract, when she got pregnant, that should specify, shouldn't be nobody in my chair when I get back. When a quarterback gets hurt on an NFL football team, they always say, you can't lose your job. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. But if you're that good, you're not going to have to fight for it when you come back. And the minute your Achilles is healed or whatever got going on, right? Whatever your hamstring heals and you could throw that ball, it ain't going to be both of y'all on the field on Sunday. You're back on the field. Y'all not switching it out unless you're not good. Okay? If they're having a person in your chair when you get back, it's a problem. It's a problem. So right there, that's a red flag that Lauren LaRosa still is in your chair, and you got to come in late that day and do a power move like, get out of my chair. That's a problem. And you're saying that they're running this office like Fair East Side, right? You're saying they're running this thing like what's my I can't remember his name. Before Joe got there, the principal, right? Before Lean On Me. You're saying they're running this office like a high school, like Lean On Me. Joe Clark before he got there with the baseball bat, right? Well, you know that. See, the problem is everybody in the Breakfast Club is trying to be polite. But what really happened was you were good for the time you were there. You were a great replacement. But you left too soon to make your foot a stamp, to put your foot in the place and stamp your position like that. Let's just be honest. Your position wasn't stamped. There was never nobody sitting in Angela Yee chair when Angela Yee got back, was it? Never. Right? She ain't had to do nothing. Her little green juice sat right there. Boop. She ain't had to move her laptop out of the way. Nobody. Because you got out the game too quick. You didn't stamp it. You was gone too quick. I'm not telling you not to have no kid. What I'm telling you is you got out the game too quick. You was replaceable at that point because you hadn't put your input in it. You haven't put your imprint in it. And for the job that they had you doing, just be honest. You were like a C student with it. You were okay. If you were doing just with the mess, just cracking jokes and putting routines together, you would have been an A+, because that's your wheelhouse. They're asking you to do something. You're a third mic. That's not something natural. No one wants to be a third mic. That's something you gotta learn to be that. It'll take years to figure out how to be a third mic. So what happened was you didn't have the guidelines set up to say, when I come back, she leave, end of story. You were playing nice because you were just happy to be there. The thing should have been like, okay, whoever running this thing, I'm coming back on Monday, so nobody should be there. Ain't no misconstrue. There's nothing to misconstrue. When I sit down, it's 3 people again. Right? I did a show with a guy. I used to do hip-hop shows in Chic Luch from the Locks, right? Chic Luch pulled up to the venue. It was a Chic Luch show. We were doing a show. And we were like, all right, come on inside and get the other half of your money. He's like, no, I don't set foot in venues until you pay me. You got to pay me out here. And then I'll come inside. We get the money in the limo or whatever I'm in. You pay me here, then I go inside. What I'm trying to tell you is Jess should have never set foot in that building until it was understood. And I know this sounds crazy, but it ain't really that crazy. Then you're not here where we are, where she's going live, screaming and crying that somebody was in her chair. You got to handle your business before you get in there. It's a cutthroat game. But I'm gonna tell you why she was in your chair. So Jess gets donkey today for a lot of reasons, and I'm gonna defend her too. I just was defending her a few weeks ago against academics. I didn't say her name, but I defended her against academics, calling her a DEI hire, right? So I'm going to get. It's not going to be just I'm dragging Jess, but what I'm saying is Jess didn't protect herself. It should have been, okay, when I walk in, she walk out in the story. I thought these guys were friends because when I was like, how this going to work out with this girl being this good and Jess gotta come back in at some point? It's not going to work with 4 of them. It ain't going to work no kind of way. And you see that it's not working. But I was like, Jess got to be intimidated by this girl. I would be intimidated by this girl. She has to be, and she was. So by her being intimidated, she came in off her square. She came in day one with a problem with this girl. She said it. I didn't like her from day one. She said that. You can say what you want, but she said in the thing, she said, when I first got back, I didn't like her. Even though she suggested her and this and that and the third. But she said, when I first got back, I didn't like her. Because I thought this, that, and the third. No, you was reading them comments and you were intimidated. And rightfully so, this girl is better than you at this particular job. It is what it is. I can't go out there and hoop with, you know what I'm saying? Half these dudes in the league, I can't hoop with half of them. None of them. They basketball players. So they better at that than me, and I'm going to eat that. So this girl is better than you at this. You should have been intimidated, but at the same time, You need to put parameters in place where your job can't be taken and stolen from you by no one. Right? You went on maternity leave. A lot of women do that. So what happened was you went on a maternity leave. They done called the temp agency, got a better temp than you. So now we got a problem because the fans are saying she's better than you. You feel it in your heart that she's better than you. Charlamagne and DJ Envy knows she's better than you. It's no disrespect. It is what it is. This girl is really good at this. But she has years of training at this. You have none. You never trained for this. You were on the job learning about how to do this news. So yeah, she was better than you. Now, what happened at this point, which deserves Donkey of the Day even more, you came in with an attitude. Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. You're telling the girl to shut up, be quiet, hush. You're talking over me, da da da. This is why a 4-man mic won't work. You know how a 4-man mic, the only way a 4-man mic could work is if all 4 men are humble and are really, really good friends. Because if you real cool with this guy, you cannot have a show without them talking over you. They're going to interrupt you sometimes. And if you're like, you're talking over me, you're the problem, because that's what a show like that is for. They're going to talk over each other. They're going to interrupt each other. But if you're not in a good place with the person, you're going to act like you did. She knows it. She talks over me. That's something someone says when they don't like that person. That's an attitude. Right? And I know y'all are like, well, what did Lauren do talk over her? Okay, you're right. That's why I'm going to have the conversation about Lauren, but I do got to finish with Jess. I get it. Jess is in her feelings. She's teary-eyed. It hurts. She's upset. She has every right to be, because, gang, they really did her dirty. But the reason they did her dirty was because Lauren was better than her and they didn't know how to tell her. And in a corporate structure, you have contracts and stuff in place. So they can't just be like, yeah, we're good with you. They have to build up to that. They got to see how it's going to work. They're like, okay, we made this is at this point, this is really what they call a clusterfuck. Because they let the new girl in and the fans have gravitated. They like the new girl. Jess comes back. Jess is all out of sorts. It's like she's messing up the chemistry. Let's just be honest. She's fighting for space, and it's just like, I'm not gonna fight for mic time. You shouldn't fight for mic time. You should have had it where she wasn't there at all. But it's too late now. You're here. So what Jess should have done, and this is as fair as I can be, and I know some of you not gonna agree with this. Jess should have read the room. She should have remembered how she felt when she got picked to be on that Breakfast Club from the day one, how happy she was. She should have been like, oh my God, this is a privilege. See, Jess got confused that she deserved it. This is hers. You ain't even done a full year in this place. You barely did a year. How you own this? Huh? If that thing really, really, really was yours, they wouldn't have brought nobody in. Or they would have had people come in once a week and switch it out until you got back. They wouldn't have put one person in there to stay there for this thing to become the cluster F, right? So at this point, Jess, you are the problem. You became the problem because you came in there and you assumed that everything was going to go back to normal, but you didn't have it in writing. So now they're in a conundrum like, yo, the fans like this girl better than her. Everyone sees this. But they don't know how to get you out of there. And frankly, they don't want to move too quickly because maybe we can work this thing with all 4 of them. But the only way all 4 of them works, Charlamagne gonna be fine with 4. Envy gonna be fine with 4. Lauren gonna be fine with 4. You're not. Jess Hilarious is not going to be fine with 4. Because Jess Hilarious is still mad that this girl is even in there. She's in her feelings and she's not ready to play ball. She should have been like, this is a privilege. I'm going to find my, it's clear that they want this girl. She's like, they're not telling me nothing. They're not telling you nothing because they want you to read the room. This girl ain't leaving. They want you to figure it out. And it's wrong. Don't get me wrong. They're wrong, but they want you to figure it out. She's somehow staying here. The numbers are up. In my absence, these ratings have not faltered. In some cases, probably got better. Everyone in the comments likes this girl. They're not leaving her now. They're willing to let your ass go. But they're going to let you implode and do it. That's what you don't understand. They're going to let you crash out on live and fire yourself. See, I used to be in corporate. I used to be in a lot of corporate spaces. And you know those infamous emails where they CC and then they BC? They put the, so in case you don't know, when they CC somebody email, they can put you, your supervisor, da-da-da. When they BC a blind copy, it's people in there that you don't know that they sent it to. And they do little slick stuff like that. They'll send you an email, right? to remind you of something that they gave you or whatever, or some issue you guys had, and they'll CC your supervisor and your immediate, and then somebody will be on that thing that's bigger than all of y'all that you didn't know that they blind copied. They do stuff like this. It's shady stuff all day. And in these corporate situations, you're always being reviewed. I don't know if Jess knows this, but they do quarterly reviews. You know why they do quarterly reviews? Because they trying to figure out if they still need your ass. So every quarter, in a lot of situations, they're going to review your ass. So you coming in the door, the last thing a motherfucker say is they can't fire me, is when they get fired. So Jess should have came in that bitch humble. Like, I'm back in this place. Just online talking about, I don't need this. I want to be there. I don't need to. See, that's the attitude that's going to get this thing to be a 3-man show again and you back on the road doing comedy clubs. But I'm not here to bash Jess. I'm just here to keep it a buck. I'm not going to be insensitive to Jess because they did her dirty. Let's just be honest. I'm going to get to all that too. But at the same time, Jess should have come in that bitch humble. Not stomping her feet, asking mad questions why the girl's still here. You need to, but she don't move with a corporate mentality because she's not working in corporate situations. I would have been like, oh, stop. This don't look right. Something's going on. Before I start bugging and CCing and BCing everybody and stomping my feet, let me figure out how, if I even want to be here, and if I do want to be here, I'm going to get in line and figure out how I can keep my 2 feet under this table just like everybody else. I'm not going to be hushing and shutting the girl up and this and that. And then I'm on Instagram when they talking to Wendy Williams. I'm looking at my Instagram because I'm checked out. That's a surefire way to understand that your ass going to be out of here because what they're going to do is say breach of contract. Okay? So I know it's going to be a lot of Jess Hilarious, some Jess Hilarious fans that's going to come in and say, Charles, what you mean? Da, da, da. I'm just telling you how she should have played this. So I feel like that's the first donkey of the day. Jess played it wrong. She didn't really talk. She talked to Lauren, but she didn't listen to her. Right? She pulled her aside. Lauren kept saying, hey, listen, tell me what's wrong. We can work this out. I'm not your enemy. Just to say, yeah. And then 2 seconds later, this bitch. So Jess never saw that it wasn't Lauren. But at the end of the day, it is Lauren. Because Lauren is there, she's outdoing you at your own position, and now you don't know where you fit in. You gotta be confident in yourself. Them comments shouldn't mean shit to you, right? I see the comments. I see when these motherfuckers talk crazy shit. You think I'm not gonna do another video, or you think I'm gonna start going crying because these? Listen, it is what it is, gang. Say whatever in the comments. I don't stop nothing. You can say whatever. It is what it is. I'm gonna make my next video and the next video after that, because I know who I am. And I know why I do this. She got to walk in that door like, I know who I am and I know why I do this. If it's 4 mics, then it's 4 mics. And until this gets sorted out, I'm going to be the 4th mic. I'm happy to be here. Yes, sir. No, sir. Or do what she did and get herself fired. You pick. Now, that's the first donkey of the day. I know I went a long roundabout way to do the donkey of the day. Now, The same thing goes for Lauren LaRosa. Now, Lauren LaRosa, the epitome of professionalism. She did what she's supposed to do. She came in the door. She buttoned up her shirt. She was ready to go, right? Now, you're gonna say, Charles, this is not fair what you're going to say. And it's not fair. But this is how it could have been played to avoid this. Just gonna be honest. And no, I'm gonna say this again. This ain't fair to Lauren. But what Lauren should have did, Lauren knows there's friction off the rip. Right, wrong, or indifferent, Lauren should have been like, you know what? I'm going to step back on my own. I'm the producer, allegedly. I'm just going to fall back. Lauren doesn't want to fall back. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, when this girl came in there the very first day, let's just be honest. I'm talking about the very first day when she came in late to signify she came in, she let Lauren sit in that seat. She probably was waiting to see if Lauren was going to be in that seat. So she came in late to see how long she would sit there, right? And I'm going to say this again. This is not fair. But as a professional woman, to keep the show going, Lauren, in my opinion, should have grabbed up her papers and been like, you know what? I'm not going to get in the middle of this. I want this show to succeed for the greater good. I'm going to fall back. I don't need any airtime. Thank you for the offer. To keep this ball rolling, to keep this thing smooth as eggs, I'm just going to step back, gang. Jess, this is your mic. I'm not going to try to sit on your mic. I'm not going to try to be in your space. This is your chair. Let me dust it off. Let me wipe up my breadcrumbs, and I'm out. If y'all need me, call me. Let me know. I'll come running from the back, do whatever you need me to do until we figure this out. But I'm not going to sit here and be a cog in the wheel that it won't turn because I'm in it. Jess shouldn't have had to go through upper management and ask all these questions that everyone's afraid to answer. So I'm going to have to give Lauren a donkey of the day as well. Now, let me move forward. I'm going to say Charlamagne for last. I'm going to move forward to Envy. Envy seems truly, he was the most level-headed of this, but he seems really affected by the live. Now, Envy gets a small, little baby, teeny donkey, but he gets a donkey too. You know why? Because he sat there and let this happen. He saw that this was a problem. He knows this is a problem. Because he kept asking her. He said, yo, is something we could do? Is there something? You see that it's a problem. You're a third of this team. You're a very important member of this show. You want this show to succeed just like everybody else. Envy gets a little baby donkey because he saw that these two chicks wasn't getting along at all. She said it. This girl said it herself. I ain't saying this. She said it on the live. I ain't like her when I first came back. I ain't like her. I'm going to be honest. So DJ Envy saw the friction. DJ Envy could have stood up and been like, you know what, ladies? Hey. You know what I'm going to do? Lauren, no disrespect to you, but that is Jess's chair. Thank you for your service. He shouldn't have to ask her, and she shouldn't have to answer him. He backed Jess into a wall by asking her, yo, what do you want us to do? What do you want me to do? What can I do to make this better? You know what you can do. You can settle this right now. You can put Lauren back in her producer chair and put the role back on Jess, and then it'll be all good again. Right or wrong, you chose her last year, right? You chose her. It's too late to unchoose her. You chose her. Now, if you want to just be on some business, then say, look, Jess, the polling, the numbers are straight. They're saying that Lauren's polling higher than you. Right? We're running the data, the testing, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever they do. And she's polling higher than you. She's testing higher than you. So what we're going to do, and it's not up to me, it's out of my hands. This is coming from the top. No, he and Charlamagne is the top. Well, they got people over there. But at the end of the day, they're the talent. He's going to be like, this is coming from the top. We're going to say that you're stepping away from the show We don't even want to try the 3 mics thing because it's clear that you and her are not going to be able to work on this together. And I'm not buying this whole kumbaya that they're trying to make it like they solved all this. I don't see this working. I don't see it working. Jess is too mad. She's too far gone, and she feels way too disrespected for this to work. She got quiet at the end of that show because she's just like tired of arguing. But I'm telling you right now, the things this girl said, did she feel this from her core? This chick is checked out. So I don't know if the Breakfast Club gonna work anymore, gang. I'm just gonna be honest. DJ Envy could have made this move and he could have settled this from the beginning. Because you saw it within a week that this girl was not happy. And all of them played this game with her. Let's just be honest. They all played a game with her and they left her hanging. And her whole thing is, y'all not defending me online. Well, gang, listen. They don't really defend nobody online. You should have known what you was walking into. Charlamagne don't even be online like that no more. Envy be doing everything else, but he trying to sell everything but the damn. He ain't even listening to what's going on online. So you got to tell them what's being said in there. And I don't know what you expect them to really do. They don't even really defend each other online like that. So I don't know what she's expecting them to do. Her head is too deep in what these people say in these comments. But what it is, she's been attacked since she got in this. Jess has been attacked. Like, I've been seeing Jess for at least 7-8 years. And from the very first time I started seeing her, the attacks were there. They were already attacking this girl 7-8 years ago. This girl gets attacked every single day. I remember she had to apologize on Instagram for, she said something. It was always something. But she said something. She had to make an apology video. I was like, wow, that was crazy. Like, it went from 0 to 100. They was condemning her. Like, people just don't like this girl. So she plays a tough role, but she's really sensitive. Her skin is not thick enough. So she's all in these comments getting all weepy-eyed and you know what I'm saying? That's a problem if you're going to be in this business. So that's 3 donkeys. I'm giving Jess a donkey. I'm giving Lauren a donkey. I'm giving DJ Envy a donkey for not doing nothing as a man. Now, Charlamagne, he is the donkey. And I'm going to tell you why. Charlamagne's sitting back eating his kiwi salad, or what he eating? He barely got 2 words. He like the dude on Minister Society. He's like, I got so old. I've been doing so much dirt so long. I like to see other people do dirt. He just loved watching it because he knows that the numbers go up every time they do this. Breakfast Club numbers ain't been this high since this thing happened. They do big numbers already, but it fluctuates. And you got to stay current to stay in the zeitgeist and have your content go viral. That's the goal, gang. In what world would you have this girl? She just went live last night. She went bug out crazy. Bug out crazy. In what world would you just have Lauren, Jess, Envy, all show up to work, cut the cameras on and start recording? Because you're doing that for content. And Charlamagne is like the greedy pimp. Charlamagne is Mr. Burns on The Simpsons. He's like this. More electricity, burn all of them. Like, he don't care. He loves it. It's more money, gang. This thing he's not bothered in the slightest. He's drinking Angela Yee's green juice. He don't care. This dude is chilling right now, gang. He loves it. She looking for sympathy from somebody who has none. He don't have no sympathy for you. You see, half the time he's cracking jokes. And then the other half, he's trying to stop the whole argument. All right, guys, let's simmer down. Woosah. He's trying to deflect it from him. Because he doesn't really care about this. He don't care about none of them like that. He got moderate, you know what I'm saying? They're okay. But when it comes to these ratings, oh yeah, let them fight. You heard what she said. Jess Hilarious said that Charlamagne told her, why are you not saying shut up to her no more? You're saying, be quiet. He said, no, tell her shut up. He said, make a spectacle of it. This is what Jess Hilarious said that Charlamagne said. Charlamagne told her to keep telling Lauren to shut up. And you know why I believe it? Because she said it in the heat of passion. She was just so mad, she started blurting out stuff. And to Charlamagne, that's not that big. That's not egregious to him. He's like, it's all for the content. So it doesn't matter. He don't care that it's hurting somebody's feelings. It's like more content, more electricity. Homer, get in here. Like, it's crazy. He don't care. So he's sitting back, reaping this show gotta last, gang. We want another 13 years. Angela Yee over there with Mano somewhere doing her thing. All the way with Angela Yee. We gotta keep the lights on over here. Right? So basically, he's looking at it like, this the guy that had Birdman come in here, all three of y'all, right? He's looking at it like all of this is good news. Every one of them Jess clips is going through the roof. The #1 topic right now, Jess Hilarious. Is out the Breakfast Club. So you think Charlamagne is bothered? He is unbothered, is he? He eating his pecan and radish, green garden salad. He ain't tripping off what y'all talking about. He just watching it play out. He's like a tennis match. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Like, he just watching it. And he don't get a day for that because he's letting these two women go at it, right? DJ Envy over there huffing and puffing, and he could care less. He could have stopped the whole thing. All right, hey. He could have stopped the whole thing. He could have been like, Lauren, get out that chair. You know this is good. Come on. Charlamagne is smart as me. I know he saw this coming for months. He's like, when Jess come back, this is going to be a problem. He had to know that. You know how Jess is. This chick from Baltimore. Uncultured, uncouth. What about Jess gives off office professionalism? What about her gives that off? What? Tell me. Explain. You knew when she came back? Yeah. She was going to be right up in that thing, a box of Popeye's chicken, and she ready, gang. So let's just be honest. Charlamagne had to know this was going to be messy, just with the whole mess. And here we are. So I'm giving all of y'all donkey today. Lauren should have stepped out the way. Jess should have been way more specific about how she wanted her in there, because she obviously don't want nobody there. But she was trying to roll with it, but she was having an attitude when she did it. Everybody and their mother could see you was irritated. I didn't want to believe it, but I'm a dreamer. I try to believe the best in people. I'm sitting there looking right at her like she's irritated. I'm like, nah, I can't be that. I'm trying to make it right. No, it's wrong. She's not feeling good, gang, and she blew up on live. That's what happens when you hold your emotions and you're not real with yourself. You blow up on live one night. Right? That's what people do in this new era. Envy gets donkey today for sitting back, pretending to be like, yo, is there anything I can do? Just let me know what I can do. You know, it can't be, the narrative can't be Jess didn't want her in the building. You know that can't be the narrative. So she's never going to say, nah, get her off the show. She's never going to say that. Because that narrative would then become Jess is petty. Jess is jealous. Jess is blocking people's blessings. Right? We'll start calling her Nicki Minaj or something like that. Like y'all already be doing, talking about Nicki do that, right? You say that. So what I'm saying is, all of y'all got donkey today, and Charlamagne gets the big donkey today, because he's the head of all this, and he just sitting back twiddling his thumbs, watching it happen. Breakfast Club got some real, I would really be surprised if this thing goes with 4 mics for too much longer without some resolution as to what you're going to do. Because she's going to cut you off again for some reason. I don't know how you're going to do a 4-mic show where no one cuts you off while you're talking. It doesn't happen like that. So y'all really, we might be looking at a whole reshuffle. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments, but I'm done talking about it. I don't really have nothing else to say. Yeah, man. CLBMG. I'm going to catch you on that flip side. Share the video. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Make sure you go down in the merch. Grab some merch. CLB. I'm going to catch you on that flip side. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine.
CLB.